Okay, so what if I told you that the universe actually needs us in order to exist? Seriously, that without something or someone here to observe it, it just wouldn't be here at all. It's one of the most mind-bending ideas in all of physics, and today we're diving into it. The idea of a self-excited universe, a cosmos that literally brings itself into being.
I know. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But it makes you ask a really fundamental question. Are we just passive observers, watching some cosmic movie that's already finished? Or could it be that our very act of watching is what's helping to write the script of reality itself? That's the wild idea we're going to unpack.
And this quote, man, it just perfectly captures the whole puzzle. Physics gives rise to observers. Observers give rise to information. And information gives rise to physics. You see, it's a perfect circle. It's like the ultimate chicken and egg problem. This logic loop suggests that the universe and us were kind of locked in this strange dance of mutual creation. So let's try to break down how that could even be possible.
So the main metaphor here is something from electronics, actually. It's called a self-excited circuit. And you've almost definitely experienced this. Think about when a microphone gets too close to a speaker. The sound from the speaker goes into the mic, gets amplified, comes out louder, goes back in the mic, and you get that awful high-pitched screeching sound. That's a feedback loop sustaining itself. Well, this theory suggests our entire universe might work just like that.
So to really wrap our heads around this cosmic circuit, we're going to walk through it in 3 steps. First, we'll look at how physics creates observers. That's the easy part. Second, how observers create information. And then, the grand finale, how that information could possibly circle all the way back around to create physics itself.
All right, let's start with step 1, the first and, honestly, the most intuitive part of this entire loop, the idea that the laws of physics are what brought us into existence in the first place.
This first step, well, it feels pretty familiar. The basic rules of the game, gravity, chemistry, physics, they set the stage for everything. They let stars ignite, cook up heavy elements, and form planets. And eventually, on at least one of those planets, that whole process led to us, conscious observers. So far, so good, right? This part makes perfect sense.
Okay, on to the next link in the chain. And this is where things start to get really weird. This is where the observer, that's you and me, stops being just a passive member of the audience and actually becomes a participant in creating reality.
So here is the crucial idea. In quantum physics, observing isn't just, looking at something. It is the physical act of measurement. Think about the famous double-slit experiment. Before you measure it, a tiny particle is like this fuzzy wave of possibilities. It could be going through both slits at once. But the instant you measure it, the moment you check which slit it went through, bam, it collapses into one single definite spot. You've literally turned a cloud of maybes into a hard piece of factual information.
And here we are, the final and, let's be honest, the most counterintuitive piece of this entire puzzle. We've seen that observers generate information. But how in the world does that information loop back to create the very rules that created us in the first place?
Think about it this way. Every single time a scientist measures a particle or an astronomer maps out a distant galaxy, we're basically adding another entry into the universe's great big book of facts. We are literally building a definite record of reality, one observation at a time.
This is the big leap, isn't it? I mean, how can the result, this book of facts, somehow define the rules of the universe? That feels completely backward. It's like saying the final score of a football game is what determined the rules of football. It just seems to put the cart way, way before the horse.
Well, here's where that feedback loop idea becomes so critical. The theory suggests that for physical laws to become real and consistent, they need to be registered, they need to be recorded in that book of facts. Without observers to create that record, the universe might just be an undefined, fuzzy sea of possibilities. Our measurements, our information, is the feedback that locks the rules of the system into place.
Okay, we've looked at all 3 parts of this incredible machine. Now let's put it all together and finally see the full circuit in action.
And there it is, all together. The laws of physics allow observers like us to evolve. Then we, by observing and measuring, turn quantum possibilities into concrete information. And finally, that very information is what feeds back to define and solidify the laws of physics themselves. It's a perfect, closed, self-sustaining loop.
So let's go back and look at that puzzle from the beginning one more time. Now it should make a whole new kind of sense, right? It's not a straight linear sentence. It's the blueprint for a circle, a completely self-contained, self-creating system where the beginning creates the end and the end circles back to define the beginning.
And that is really the key takeaway here. According to this absolutely wild theory, the universe isn't some static stage where we're just actors reading lines. No, it's a participatory system. It's a system that brings itself and us into being through this grand cosmic feedback loop. In a very real sense, we are the universe's way of knowing itself.
So, of course, this all leaves us with one final, fascinating, and maybe even a little spooky thought to chew on. If reality only solidifies when we observe it, what state is it in when no one is there to measure it? It's a profound question that challenges our most basic ideas about what it means to exist. So, what do you think?